If your triglycerides are high, it's often not bad luck. It's a predictable fuel traffic problem, and your bloodstream is basically a highway where triglyceride-rich particles are the trucks. When the trucks pile up, especially after meals, the dangerous part isn't the traffic count. It's the cargo, cholesterol inside remnant particles, one of the quiet ways cardiometabolic aging happens. Today I'll give you a simple fix framework, the food swaps, the alcohol rules, and the training moves that actually move triglycerides. And we'll finish with a 48-hour reset you can run this weekend to flatten the post-meal spike without doing anything weird. First, quick clarity. LDL is the headline villain in most heart conversations, and it still matters massively. Triglycerides are the subplot that explains why some people still get into trouble even when LDL looks fine. Triglycerides are a fuel molecule, fat calories packaged for transport. They ride inside big particles, chylomicrons from your gut after meals, and VLDL from your liver when it's exporting excess energy. Here's the key mental model. Triglycerides are the traffic count, remnant cholesterol is the dangerous cargo. As those big particles get partially cleared, what's left behind are smaller remnants that are relatively cholesterol-rich, and those remnants can slip into the artery wall. If you want a simple way to think about remnant cholesterol, it's often estimated from a standard lipid panel as total cholesterol minus LDL-C minus HDL-C. It's a rough estimate, and when triglycerides are very high the math gets less reliable, but it's a useful story. Some of your cholesterol problem may be riding in the post-meal trucks. That's why high triglycerides isn't just about fat on your plate. It's about how long those post-meal trucks hang around, and how many remnant boxes get dropped off where you don't want them. And yes, this is a post-meal story. Humans don't live in a fasting state. We live in a fed state, most of the day, most of our lives. So if your triglycerides are high, it often means your after-meal clearance is sluggish and the traffic jam lasts longer. Now, what creates the jam? Most of the time it's not one single food. It's a pattern: insulin resistance, added sugar, alcohol, ultra-processed carbs, low activity, and sleep-stressed metabolism. Let's talk about insulin resistance, because it's the engine behind a lot of high triglycerides. In insulin resistance, your liver keeps making and exporting VLDL even when it should be turning the tap down after you eat. At the same time, more fat is spilling out of fat tissue into the bloodstream, and the liver uses that fuel to make even more triglycerides. So you get a perfect storm. More VLDL trucks leaving the liver, plus chylomicron trucks arriving from your last meal. This is why high triglycerides often travel with a very specific cluster: belly fat, fatty liver, low HDL, and sometimes smaller, denser LDL particles. It's not just a cholesterol issue, it's a fuel handling issue. Now we hit the two most underrated triglyceride accelerants, alcohol and liquid sugar, especially fructose-heavy sweet drinks. And if you're thinking, I don't even eat that much fat, congrats. Triglycerides don't care about your food identity. They care about your liver's workload. Alcohol is sneaky because it can raise triglycerides both acutely and chronically. Acutely, alcohol with a fatty meal tends to amplify the post-meal triglyceride spike and slow the clearance of those lipoprotein trucks. Chronically, regular excess alcohol pushes the liver toward making more VLDL. So if your triglycerides are high, alcohol isn't just empty calories. It's often a direct lever on the number. Now liquid sugar. This is where people get fooled because they think triglycerides equals fat. But your liver can convert surplus carbohydrate into fat, package it as triglycerides, and ship it out as VLDL. Fructose-containing sugars are especially good at pushing that liver fat-making pathway. So the classic triglyceride pattern in 2026 isn't just bacon, it's a sweet drink, a refined carb meal, and a sedentary afternoon. Ultra-processed foods make this worse because they combine the perfect storm ingredients: refined starch, added sugar, industrial fats, and easy overconsumption. Your body didn't evolve for dessert plus dinner plus a second dinner disguised as a snack. Now let's make this practical with a simple triglyceride framework. Think in 4 lanes, remove the biggest accelerants, rebuild a better default plate, add the movement that clears the traffic, and use supplements only where they actually make sense. Lane 1 is the accelerants. If triglycerides are elevated, the first move is usually alcohol down, sometimes to 0 for a while, because it's one of the fastest, highest yield levers. Second, cut liquid sugar and dessert carbs. First, sugar drinks, juice heavy drinks, sweet coffee drinks, and the nightly little treat that's actually a second meal. Lane 2 is the default plate. For triglycerides, the goal isn't low fat, it's fewer spikes and faster clearance. That usually means protein at every meal, fiber-rich carbs, and fats that don't come bundled with a ton of saturated fat and refined starch. Here's a sneaky win. Stop pairing high fat with refined carbs as your default. Fat plus fiber is usually calmer. Carbs plus fiber is usually calmer. Fat plus refined carbs is often a triglyceride party you didn't mean to host. Lane 3 is movement, the underused, same-day fix. Triglycerides are unusually responsive to activity because movement helps your muscles pull fuel out of circulation. If you want to flatten the post-meal spike, take a walk after meals, even just 10 to 20 minutes after lunch and dinner. And if you're training, prioritize the 2 things that change triglycerides the most. First, resistance training to improve insulin sensitivity and build the metabolic engine. Second, consistent zone 2 and brisk walking to increase daily fuel burn without spiking hunger. Lane 4 is omega-3s, and this is where you need clarity. Eating fatty fish is a great food move, but it is not the same as prescription omega-3 therapy. Prescription omega-3 medications at high dose can lower triglycerides meaningfully in people with high triglycerides, and over-the-counter fish oil is not the same intervention. Also, lowering triglycerides isn't the same thing as proving you lowered heart attacks. Some omega-3 trials show benefit, some don't, and the formulation matters, so don't let a generic capsule become your entire plan. So here's the honest longevity compass supplement stance. Food first, training second, alcohol and sugar rules third. Supplements as targeted tools, not a shortcut around lifestyle. Now, the fun part, the 48-hour triglyceride reset. This is not a cure for anything. It's a short experiment to reduce your current post-meal traffic and prove to yourself that the number is often modifiable. For the next 48 hours, Rule 1, no alcohol. Not just one, not, it's a special occasion. 2 days, clean signal. Rule 2, no liquid sugar and no dessert carbs. Water, sparkling water, and unsweetened tea or coffee. Rule 3, build boring meals on purpose. Lean protein, vegetables, and fiber-rich carbs, beans, lentils, oats, potatoes, fruit, and vegetables. Avoid the classic TG bomb, large fatty meals plus refined carbs and/or alcohol. Rule 4, move today. If you can do 1 solid workout, do it. If you can't, hit a high-step day and add 2 post-meal walks. Rule 5, protect sleep for 2 nights, because sleep debt makes insulin resistance louder and cravings stronger. When you run that 48-hour reset, most people feel 2 things fast. Less bloating and hangover energy, and a calmer appetite signal because blood sugar swings are reduced. Now, 2 safety guardrails. If your triglycerides are 500 mg per deciliter or higher, that's not just longevity optimization. That's a medical conversation, because pancreatitis risk starts to matter, and your clinician needs to look for secondary causes. And if you're seeing 4-digit triglycerides, treat that as urgent. Do not self-experiment your way through it, get evaluated. For everyone else with moderately high triglycerides, here's the big takeaway. High triglycerides are often your early warning system for metabolic traffic, especially insulin resistance, alcohol load, and refined carb patterns. LDL and ApoB are still primary targets for atherosclerosis risk, and you should not ignore them. But triglycerides and remnant cholesterol tell you whether the post-meal story is still noisy, even if your fasting numbers look fine. If this episode helped, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Check the description for tools and affiliate links that match today's topic, plus our Longevity Compass Amazon KDP book. And drop a comment. What's your biggest triglyceride trigger? Alcohol, sweets, late night snacks, or I sit all day and then wonder why my labs hate me? No judgment, just data. We outplan the problem.